I like our countdown. All right. Everybody, welcome to the Administrative Executive Committee meeting of the Board of Directors of Indian Wells Valley Water District on Wednesday, January 27th, 2026. I'll call the meeting to order at 3 p.m. And with that, I'll ask for any committee or public comments. All right, nothing? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to outstanding public records requests.
We have none at this time.
Okay, and there's none outstanding, they're all handled?
It's possible Jim is still working on some of the ones that are tied to legal stuff, but they're tied to legal deadlines, so they're just
Okay,
in limbo.
all righty. Any questions or comments? I didn't think so. All right, number 4, conference and training travel.
Yeah, in front of you, you have a list of a couple of conferences that are potentially things that I think somebody should attend. But they don't have, I just got it for the board members, so sorry about that. February 11th, the Aqua 2026 Legislative Symposium in Sacramento. That would be a good one to go to get ahead of the various things going on. Probably, I'm thinking at least one board member might want to go if that fits into their schedule. It's really a short one. It's 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, but they're going to talk about a lot of stuff. You might get a chance to interface with probably our legislative consultants there, and might be do a little networking. So I was thinking maybe a board director might want to go.
All right.
The second one is the February 24th to 26th Washington DC Aqua Annual Washington DC Conference. Once again, might be appropriate to send somebody from either the board or the water district. I think we might need to be, if I understand correctly, is the city going to be pushing some legislation that we need to
No,
be looking at? No?
no, they've been, it's been touted around by their GA's consultant, but nothing really yet.
Okay, so if there's not a lot going on in DC, we'll put that one on the maybe. The other one is March 31st to April 2nd. It's the Aqua Biennial Symposium on Managed Aquifer Recharge. Now, this is something I think we should send some of potentially our technical people to, maybe if Tim Parker or some of our other.
Tim usually attends, he's on his own.
Yeah, so I'm not so sure if we shouldn't have maybe someone from the engineering section go and kind of listen about it, because this seems like a direction we may end up going at some point in time. So those were, I think, the 3 that I had coming up at this point in time that I'll just brief to the whole board when we get to that meeting.
All right, great. See if anybody's interested. I actually think the one in Washington, I'm not sure that's really worth it yet. That's a long trip to take, an expensive trip to take, just to meet some people. Yeah. Well, Chuck, you have something?
Oh, the one that's March 31st in Sacramento, would that be good for, I know like Tim Parker, but it would also be nice for maybe some of our staff as far as maybe even Renee or somebody.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I think Tim usually makes those anyway.
Is that the recharge one?
Yeah.
Is that in Sacramento? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think it would be good if we had staff to get more educated, just as much as we could get. That way we had more information, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been some years since I've gone to a conference about recharge, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that may be worth looking at. You going to bring this to the board?
I will.
Same list? Okay.
Yeah, same list. I just printed this out. This was a preview in case you wanted to nix anything, but I'll probably just present these 3 and the board can make their comments.
And then I take it in May is the Aqua Spring Conference. Is it May? I think it's May. Yeah.
I believe so. I probably won't get that one until next month. I don't want to be too many months.
We don't want to get behind it. Last time we waited, we couldn't get rooms and we couldn't,
Yeah, so this one goes out about 3 months. So this goes out to the end of March. So that gives us 3 months. I think that gives us plenty of time to register. I'll probably add a month at a time as we go forward.
Okay.
Now, my hope is that maybe this one would encompass some of SkyTim and some of that stuff, because I've been watching a lot of stuff that DWR is doing.
Yeah.
And they're using that in a lot of basins.
They're using a lot of
A
basins.
lot of basins that it's the
It's
new
bailed them out in a lot of stuff.
for groundwater. So if we
Yeah.
could get more education on this, we could back up our data.
I think it's a good idea for a staff member and as long as, and Tim could be there as well. I'm sure he's going to be. But yeah, let's talk about the May one as soon as that comes up too. I think I'm probably going to go to May one. I may be.
Well, let me do this. I'll add, if it is in May, I'll add it for the
Yeah,
regular
let's add it
board.
because I don't want to get behind the 8 ball on that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough. I'll add that one on there.
okay. Oh, we do? Any questions or comments from the board here? All right. Caller. I'm listening. Yep. It's off, it shows off out here. That was you? Did we lose our caller?
Yeah, this is Renee Westerlusk.
Hi, Renee.
Hi, I just wanted to ask a couple questions. That first conference you guys are talking about, what is that about and what are the dates? I'm just curious.
February 11th, and it's the Aqua Legislative Symposium. Essentially, it's a primer that Aqua gives to talk about legislation that maybe from last year that's moving forward into next year, such as AB 1413, which is moving forward. It's probably also a primer to say, you better get on the ball if you were to want to put legislation into effect. Let's say the water district wanted to author legislation of their own. It's probably also going to be a brief primer on how that process would work. And they will schedule meetings to meet with our various political representatives from this area up in DC in their offices while we're there.
Okay, and then on that March 31st through April 2nd, the Aqua, you said biennial meeting?
Unmanaged aquifer recharge, yes.
Okay, and so okay, the topic is managed aquifer recharge.
Yeah, so in our context, what you would be thinking about is when we have heavy rains and water comes down some of the various canyons, are there ways to capture that water and get it diverted into the aquifer as opposed to just running out onto the China Lake and evaporating away, and or other means of capturing water, whether that's maybe years where LADWP is dumping excess water. Is there a way for us to capture that? You'd probably be talking about the various technical methods that people use, what's working, what's not working, what type of maintenance is required, what are the costs, what are the, sort of the cost benefit, in a cost per acre foot, so you can compare it to other ways of generating new water. All of those topics will be discussed.
Okay. Well, you will be sending someone, right, for the March 31st, April 2nd?
I'm sure that some of our technical consultants attend this, and I would like to have some of our staff attend as well with board permission, and we'll get to that on Monday.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else before we move on? Chuck, anything?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to number 5, Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority. We have an upcoming meeting. Is there anything going on with that, George, that you can report?
We have not yet seen an agenda.
Okay, so not a lot to talk about there.
Not a lot. I believe there will be one topic that we've already are a little bit aware of, and Renee can speak to this. This is the request on the Stark Street stuff. So we know that'll probably be a topic at the GA meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the new topic, which will be an agreement between the district and the GA, similar to what we did with Rademacher,
Okay.
to do a project to connect Stark Street water system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit to the board about what I'll call the risk. So they're worried because their funding expires in, is it September of 2026?
I think it's the end of the year, the calendar year,
End of the
December
calendar year.
31st.
Okay, so at the end of the calendar year. Now, what they want to do is work into an agreement with us to help expense that money. Now, we've learned through our experiences at Rademacher that there are some challenges that can delay these projects, such as getting right-of-ways and other things. And, the risk to us is we don't want to be we want to work with them. We want to get these projects done. We want to do the consolidations. We want to make sure that we do not sort of set ourselves up for failure in the sense that if we can't get all the, environmental stuff done or all of the right-of-ways done, that we end up getting blamed for them not being able to expense that money. So, that's and this also plays into the fact that we have this new construction crew, and we're talking about them doing that. They're currently in the middle of doing Brady, then they have
Rademacher.
Rademacher to do, and they have that. So there's going to be, that's squeezing a lot of work into there. And, there is that, it's just a risk I want to bring out to the boards.
I'm not
before
so
you-
concerned about the risk of them blaming something on us. I'm more concerned with the risk of us not getting paid for work we've done. If
Okay.
if the money disappears.
That's a fair assessment, but
Yeah.
I just thought I would bring that up because
Yeah.
it's a critical piece of why they're doing this. They're like, hey, we need to get this money spent.
And I don't know how those grants work, Renee, whether we can, and I don't anticipation of work or have it laid out the cost. I don't think they can pay anything till the work's done, I don't think. But they could figure, let them work that
We
out.
submit invoices on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
So as you expense things,
Okay,
you can submit them. But I just want to make you aware that the Stark Street system is outside of our boundary.
right,
So we will have to go through the process with LAFCO
right.
to integrate them into our system. And that does take,
Okay,
I would say, a minimum of 3 months.
yep,
So if we do have this agreement and we're going to do this, we need to start that process right away.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's going to be down to the wire.
Mhm.
And could we confirm the deadline for the funding? You're sure it's the end of the year?
I'm told the end of the calendar year.
Yeah.
We just they need to help us work through this if they want us to do
They're
it.
talking about hiring a third party to do the right-of-way work, to
yeah.
to finish the few we need in Rademacher and also to get the ones we will need for Stark Street.
And then we would contact LAFCO about it, or they would?
Yeah, we'll work
But
with,
we will have to go through the LAFCO process
All right,
to expand our boundaries a little bit.
okay.
But
They're
that
within
would
our
be a huge
sphere of
benefit
influence.
If
Huh?
they were gonna do the third party
Oh,
for-
that'd help us
for
out.
easements, that would help a
Yes.
lot.
That'll help move things along. And because we are kind of stuck on Rademacher, we need to get those last few easements so that, because the plans are done.
Yeah.
So if they can get that moved along, I said, I certainly would encourage that if they want to hire a third party, that'd be
Now,
great.
how long of a line extension is
Yeah, I
that
was
to
gonna
make
ask,
that?
yeah.
About 3,000 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
But how
So it'd be 8 inch?
It would be 8 inch to come off of Calvert.
how about the system itself, all the laterals and everything else going on with it? Is there a lot involved there?
The system is like 10 connections.
Okay,
And we still have some questions about things out there because the current grant, like at Rademacher, is not paying for any work done on the private property.
right,
So I said, Self-Help Enterprises is the one right now through the State Water Resources Control Board paying for the hauling of the water.
right.
Will they possibly be able to pay for the work to be done to hook people up
Meter and the,
on their
Connection to the house,
property?
yeah.
Yeah, the connections. So, and is there something that, right now, that system is managed by the county, not by the state? It is a county water system because it has less than 25 people that
Right.
they're serving. So is there some process that the county needs to go through in order to get this consolidation done? And so Stetson.
a lot to do.
Stetson's engineer that's working on this with me, she's trying to check into all those things.
It may, I don't know if it's possible or not.
don't
Can they appeal to the state a term of an extension of some kind on? I don't know if that even exists for those things.
Yeah, and if not, the State Water Resources Control Board was willing to dip into their emergency funding in order to get this done because
Okay.
they want to stop paying for the water hauling.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So that was my next question then. So if there's 10 customers, obviously they would all have to agree to become customers of the district, right?
I don't know if it's true.
That's a catch 22. then.
I think right now, because the state is the one providing water to them, they don't have a functioning well. They may not have a choice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my next question, do we know anything about their infrastructure to where if we could make a tie-in, a temporary tie-in to tie into their system with our line, then
I've
that the
seen
houses
nothing
would
on
be
their
served?
infrastructure. I know nothing about it right now.
Yeah, I was just thinking that might work if we tied into their infrastructure and then let those houses be served. That way it would make it a faster completion date. and
like
then we
a-
could go in and put the
Like a
services in.
metered kind of situation, maybe?
Yeah, until the point where we at least had them all hooked in and then we could run the services even if it put us after the next year.
Yeah.
and start installing services.
Big
But
thing is we have to expand our area of influence. I mean,
Yes.
we can't be
through LAFCO.
through LAFCOs. That's the
Correct.
problem. It's the first thing that needs to happen.
Yeah.
The environmental's pretty straightforward, but it's an, an exemption, but
So there's a few boxes to check to
Oh,
get
yeah.
there that's just a year is going to go by quick.
Quick, yeah.
There's a lot to do and
and I
you know.
can't guarantee, they're asking us to guarantee we can get it done. Well,
We can't.
I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
I would
And-
say
and I've-
if we can get it all ready to go by the end of the summer or so, then I think our crew could jump on it and do it. But all the boxes have to be checked and we have to be ready to go.
Okay. That's a big ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's important to have this discussion.
Okay.
Thank
Good.
you.
All right. Anything else on the Groundwater Authority? Oh, I see that Renee's on the line again. Renee, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just have a couple questions. One is, when you're talking about doing the Stark Street, you use the word connection. Is that the same thing as consolidation?
The
Yes, I-
overall project would be a consolidation. The connection is what happens to each individual house. So they get
Mhm.
physically connected to our system, and then we connect each house to our system, and that whole process is called a consolidation.
Okay. Okay. And then, I'm just curious, if you're saying the Stark Street, all those people that live on that area that their wells went bad, so they had to go to the state to get help for the water.
As far as I know, they had one well for the system and the well collapsed, I believe.
Collapse.
And so the only way they're getting water right now is through water hauling, and the state is paying for the water to be hauled to their tank to serve their customers.
Yeah, I think I've heard numbers thrown out, was $100,000 a year or something.
And it's been doing that for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And I
So are
believe
they
that well was
like-
actually approved
Let
for,
let Renee finish your question, please, Chuck. Go
Just
ahead,
real
Renee.
quick, I just want to ask, so were they like considered a small mutual or co-op or something, and that's why they had to go through the state?
Your
Yes.
small mutual.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Go ahead, Mr. Griffin. I don't mean to
Uh,
interrupt.
I was just asking Renee, I believe that is the same well that was brought to the Groundwater Authority to be,
Yeah, I think at one point they were looking at replacing it.
yes,
Mhm.
okay. And that was because it had collapsed the bottom, I think they said 80 feet or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was just a collapse. Just for clarifications, you need to remember that a co-op is, I believe, four users or less on a well. And once you get above that, by definition, you're now a mutual. And mutual have a lot of reporting requirements to the state
Or the county, depending on your
or the
size.
county,
Yeah.
yes, uh-huh. Oh, hey, we got someone in the audience.
Yes. Greetings again, Mike Neal. So everybody had their holiday celebrations and we're back to normal business now. If you take the trouble to listen to the city council meetings, I believe the last one in December, you'll note that this, what appeared to be a little move by Mr. Blades to squelch public comment about the GA at the city council meetings. It was surprising to see, I guess pretty much everybody else was not on board with that idea. I don't know why that ever even came up. I think as far as the lack of transparency that the GA's had over all these years, holding morning meetings, squeezing out people who have to go to work, have to take off to come to those meetings and, not moving their closed session to a convenient spot and having people sit and wait on them for hours when they've just made it really clear. They don't really care to hear what people had to say. So the best time for Mr. Heyman to hear is during that agenda item at city council. And so I guess that's going to remain. Then the recent news of Searles Valley prevailing in a lawsuit with the GA and apparently not having to pay any of the fees that, they wanted to assess on them for the last, whatever it is, it's been now 3 or 4 years. They don't have to pay that. Now, they never did pay any, so they don't have to ask for a refund, which is the smartest position to be in. And I once again suggest, since the water district basically is the GA, by virtue of the fact that they provide almost every bit of the funding for the GA. That this water district decided to take the same, go down the same path Searles Valley did and say, you're not a desirable agency in this valley, I guess, and we don't want to pay you fees anymore. As soon as that happened, I think that some of the cocky attitude of the GA and their members and their staff in general would probably change rapidly. There would be certain individuals not being able to be paid for their services any longer, and all this talk, which is all it's been for all these years of acquiring water rights from somewhere over west of us, would have to just come to a real quick end. So that would be really nice to see that happen. And, you know, in general, move back to where some of the water district efforts would be able to go towards productive stuff instead of, you know, spinning your wheels, responding and debating, and now we're in mediation, so forth and so on with the GA. GA, you know, they had to pretty much delete their lawyer for whatever reasons, hasn't come out yet, but Mr. Hall is now no longer with the county, and he was one of the big problems on the GA. And he was one of the big pushers of the wrong agenda items and the overall wrong agenda they had. So maybe with that, and like I said, if they just don't get the water district for any money anymore, they'll have to correct where they are and what they're doing.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the comment. I think that the majority of the council members felt the same way, that the public needs to have a way to discuss the GA besides that meeting during the day, which the latest time to open session starts is 10:30, whatever that is. It's very difficult. And so I appreciate those council members who agreed to leave it on the agenda as a reportable item. However, it's going to take those council members as well as the public asking questions. In other words, instead of just getting reported what happened at the GA, do like we do here. If you have questions you don't understand, let's ask them and get them answered. So we need to continue to encourage that with the council members and to do more than just read a report of the meeting, because anybody can watch it on TV. But you need ask questions like, what is the cost of the pipeline truly? How's it going to pay for it? You know, how's the citizens going to get affected? People need to ask those questions. And I think that the council members who wanted to leave on the agenda would like to see more of that. You know, I'd like to see them do it themselves, but maybe it's going to take the public. But thank you, Mike. Anything else?
I would just like to concur with what you said, that I'm 100% support it always being on every agenda and being as open for discussion as we can have it. And I'm glad that the council members on the city chose to do that also. So,
Well, let's see that they actually just don't read a report and be done.
yeah.
Because I appreciate what our board does, what the committees do. We don't hesitate to talk about anything
No.
that we can talk about. We stick to the facts, we stick to what was said and what we think needs to be done, and that's where we're going to stay. So I truly appreciate that. All right. Anything else on that? All right, we'll move on to the draft agenda for Monday's meeting. Take a quick look at it. Did Jim look at this yet? Okay. Are we going to put the proposed increase by Doug Everett's group? And that supposedly there's going to be a discussion about their rates increasing, just like we have with all of the consultants. So you might want to talk with Jim to make sure. I thought he was supposed to get something forward to you.
Oh,
Because
I
we're gonna
do not
need-
believe I've seen one for Murphy and Everett's.
Yeah, we're going to need board approval for that. And then
Okay.
when I spoke with him, he said he's going to get something in our hands.
Hmm.
So I would recommend a quick call to him and say, do we have something, a rate increase sheet? Because I believe he's the only contractor I can think of that didn't look for any rate increase. In fact, for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that's coming up, and I see Ty over there is sinking in his seat, but it is what it is, Ty. Yeah. Let's see. Do you see anything, Chuck, you want to add or delete?
No, I'm good with everything. I was looking at some of the closed session items
Yeah,
and the I guess I'm seeing two names here. I'm assuming maybe that's just who they are. It's saying John and John Sumner's on D and E.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think, yeah, I think John Sumner's is, I don't know who the landowner is on that one. On the Little Lake.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, so
that's
that's
probably a
internal.
placeholder until Jim puts that in there or something. Yeah.
I'm sure Jim will fix it.
Mhm.
I'll make sure.
Yeah. No, I don't see anything else. And as far as the upcoming workshop, are you going to have a proposed agenda to bring in Monday? Okay. And I've spoken with George about that and such about it. I feel very strongly that they're basically a 4-hour almost board meeting as opposed to workshop. And I think in the past, we tried to cover so many things, we just couldn't do anything thoroughly. So I asked George to work with the staff and let them put something together that they feel is pertinent to the board, as well as that requires discussion and or decisions by the board. Because, if you ask the board members, you're going to have, we'll be here for 3 days, type of thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we are trying to simplify and streamline it, so.
Okay, good. And I think that Gene also implied that he may want a closed session shortly afterwards or before. We need to know that for people like Chuck, who's got a job to do out there,
Yeah.
especially. So we need to know that as quickly as possible.
We're working on that as well.
Okay.
And I guess the one thing that I really liked, and I know it would be hard to record, so that's probably why we can't do it, but there is no way to have, because I like you, do not like the idea of it just being another
Yeah.
board meeting.
Yeah.
I like the round table where we could sit there, we could have discussions, we could pass stuff across to each other, and it was actually like a workshop, and we could discuss stuff. If Ty had something he wanted to show us, it was right there. The public could sit at the table also. It's just an open forum. So is that not possible, or?
I think
I don't know if it's-
we still have the fancy camera we used. Yeah, we got all the stuff.
Is it, I just want to make sure, is it necessary?
Well, it's
It depends on what we're talking about. Yeah, type of thing. And I don't have a problem with that. Either way is fine with me. But again, let's, as far as involving the public, and I think George is aware of it and the staff is that the more we can do to involve them, the better. But I think it also depends on what's going to be on that agenda.
Yeah.
If there's going to be charts and graphs and all kinds of stuff to show us, then maybe it's a good idea to sit there. If not,
We can always just display charts and graphs up on the.
that's
thing.
probably the best place to do this. But I think that decision could be made by the staff.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but I appreciate the input, Chuck.
And we still have the iPads where you can look at stuff. so-
Yeah, a whole bit, yeah.
To me, it's just more not a board meeting.
But you have to,
Everybody's sitting at the same table and we're actually.
don't you think our board meetings are, I don't know, not,
Action.
ask Mike, what our board meetings compared to other boards you go to? Yeah, we're willing to talk back and forth. We're willing to let someone come up more than once. We try to answer the questions within the guidelines we have for the Brown Act and legal. And basically, we have a talk.
I agree.
And not many places you're gonna ever see do that. So I think we pretty much carry that on a regular basis. And that's why I just always encourage more people to come to ask questions and talk to us. That's why we're here, But yeah, we can go on from there, Chuck, and see, I'm sure the staff in Georgia.
Makes it easier to keep candy around. too.
Oh, no, that's the problem. And I think, isn't John doing omelets that morning? You're bringing the omelet cart out? Okay. Or pancakes, either one. All right, Chuck, do you want to approve the agenda as is?
Yeah.
Okay, so move ahead with the agenda as soon as Jim takes a look at it. I didn't have any changes, and any other comments?
None.
All right. Hearing none, I will go ahead and, I'm sorry, number 7, future agenda items. Anything anybody want to add to this? Nothing? In that case, I will adjourn the meeting at 3:29. Thank you so much.